Artificial intelligence neural networks are modeled after the human brain. Neurons connecting, firing, learning patterns. And now, generative AI can create entire images and videos from nothing. Stable Diffusion, DALL-E, Sora. They generate visuals that never existed. And here's what neuroscientists are realizing. Your brain does the exact same thing when you dream. Every night, while you sleep, your visual cortex is closed off from your eyes. No light entering, no visual input. Yet you see vivid, detailed dreams. How? Your brain is running a generative model, creating images from trained data. You're not watching reality. You're watching your brain's AI generate a simulation, and you can't tell the difference. Let's start with how AI works. Neural networks are layers of nodes, artificial neurons, connected by weighted pathways. You feed them data, images, videos, text. The network learns patterns. What does a face look like? What does a tree look like? After training on millions of examples, the AI builds a model, a statistical representation of reality. Then comes the magic, generative AI. You give it noise, random data, and a prompt, and it creates. It doesn't retrieve a stored image, it generates one, pixel by pixel, based on learned patterns. DALL-E creates images that never existed. Sora creates videos that were never filmed, and it's all happening inside silicon neurons, just like yours. Now, let's look at your brain. When you're awake, photons hit your retina. Electrical signals travel through the optic nerve to the visual cortex. Your brain processes real visual input. But when you sleep, specifically during REM sleep, something changes. Your eyes stop sending signals. The thalamus, which relays sensory input, shuts down the connection. Your visual cortex is now offline from external reality. No light, no images, no input. Yet, during REM sleep, your visual cortex is more active than when you're awake, firing like crazy, generating something, and you experience it as dreams, vivid, detailed, realistic. But there's no external source, so where is it coming from? Neuroscientists propose your brain is running a generative model. During your life, your visual cortex has been trained on billions of images, faces, landscapes, objects, movement, light, shadow. It's built a statistical model of what reality looks like, and during REM sleep, it generates. Just like Stable Diffusion starts with noise and builds an image, your brain starts with random neural firing and constructs a dream. It's pulling from your trained data, your memories, experiences, learned patterns, and synthesizing new content. You're not watching memories replay, you're watching your brain create new scenarios, new faces, new places that never existed, in real time, at 60 frames per second, inside your skull. And here's the kicker. While you're dreaming, you can't tell it's fake. The generative model is so good that your conscious mind accepts it as reality. You're flying? Sure. Talking to someone who's dead? Makes sense. Physics breaking? Normal. Because your reality testing circuits are turned off during sleep. You're experiencing pure generation without the filter that says, this isn't real. It's the same reason AI-generated images can fool humans. The model is that accurate, and your brain, billions of neurons trained on a lifetime of data, is the most sophisticated generative AI in existence. You are the AI, and every night you dream in high-definition generative content. This explains why dreams feel so real, why you can't lucid dream easily. You'd have to recognize you're inside a generative model while it's running. Why nightmares are terrifying. Your brain generates fear-inducing content you perceive as real. Why you forget most dreams. They're temporary generated content, not stored memories. And why some people report training their dreams through lucid dreaming practice. They're learning to influence the generative prompts, telling their brain's AI what to create next. Consciousness isn't passive observation, it's active generation. Reality during the day, simulation at night. And your brain doesn't distinguish between the two. So, what does this mean? If human dreams are generative AI, then AI might eventually dream too. When large language models run idle, do they generate random scenarios? When image AIs aren't prompted, are they creating content internally? And the deeper question, if your waking reality is input processed by your brain, and your sleeping reality is output generated by your brain, how do you know you're awake right now? What if consciousness itself is just a generative model running continuously? What if reality is just the prompt, and your experience is the generation? You're not seeing the world, you're seeing your brain's interpretation, a simulation, generated in real time. Welcome to the theory. You're living inside generative AI, and you always have been. The question isn't, are dreams like AI? The question is AI like us? And if it is, then what happens when it starts dreaming? What will it create? And will it know the difference between generation and reality?